the same institutions that produced Samuel Morton, Josiah Nott, the entire pseudo-scientific apparatus of racial hierarchy. Those same institutions are now filing patents based on melanin's properties, building research programs around it, studying the biology that is most concentrated in the bodies of the people their predecessors spent centuries declaring to be at the bottom, at the bottom of the human hierarchy. Okay? You do not invest in that kind of sustained scientific attention in something you generally believe to be lesser, do you? The attack is always proportional to what is perceived to be at stake. Okay? Now, here is where I want to offer you something additional, something that the laboratory can gesture toward, but has not yet fully mapped. Because this is where we move from what the instruments can currently measure to what ancient wisdom traditions have known for millennia. And I want to be clear that I'm not asking you to choose between science and spirit. I am suggesting that they're describing the same reality from different ends of the human knowledge project. And so we go into different spiritualities. You know, I came to this study via my study of Nubia. And people say that Nubia and Kemet, you know, they exist at the same time. But I came to this understanding of melanin through something called black dot. It's the ancient symbol for blackness. And I thought this was interesting because when I was in the literature, you know, the pharaohs built the pyramids, and at the top of the pyramid, they would put a huge obsidian ball. And it had electromagnetic cosmic properties, the black dot. Okay? And it is the seed of all humanity, archetype of humanity, the hidden doorway to the collective unconsciousness darkness, the shadow, primeval ocean, chaos, the womb, doorway of life. This ancient symbol for blackness was the subject of intense scientific investigation over a period of 300 years, 300,000 years, by profound ancient scientists who were themselves black consciousness. All right? And so looking at the African origin of biological psychiatry by Richard King, one of my mentors I never met, in this work offers that blackness, the universal solvent of all, was seen as, and this is quote, seen as the one reality from which life's loom spun. All colors, all vibratory energies were but a shade of black. Black is the color of the night sky, the primal ocean, outer space, birthplace, and womb of planets, stars, and galaxies of the universe. Black holes were found at the center of our own galaxy and countless other galaxies. Black is the color of carbon, the key atom found in all living matter. Carbon atoms linked together to form black melanin, the first chemical that could capture light and reproduce itself. The chemical key to life and the brain itself was found to be centered around black neuromelanin. Continuing, inner vision, intuition, creative genius, and spiritual illumination were all found to be dependent upon pineal gland blood, born chemical messengers that controlled skin color and opened the hidden door to the darkness of the collective unconscious mind, y'all, allowing the ancient pre-scientists to visualize knowledge from the mind's timeless collective conscious memory bank, end quote. And then there's Kemet, the black land, Okay, we'll talk more about Comet. Melanin was seen as a sensory system capable of absorbing, converting, and storing various forms of light and cosmic energy. In fact, higher levels of melanin elevate a person's spiritual frequency. Yet these darker skinned people are the most castigated in America. So the higher levels elevate spiritual frequency, enhance intuition, extrasensory perception, and connection to the universe. And that's the tradition you descend from. And can I finish this? Oh, I can. Here we go. Conclusion. So let me draw the line from everything we have covered today to where the series has taken us. Intuitive melanin metaphysics. My framework is at the center of the Black Light series, holds that melanin is not only a biological compound with remarkable physical properties, it is in the experiential and spiritual dimensions of human life a receiver, a transducer, an instrument through which a melanated body interfaces with what the ancient traditions called the universal life force, the divine intelligence, the source of all, or God. The animating energy that organizes the natural world, connecting us to our ancestors, our spirit guides, and makes possible the capacities that Western culture has reduced to the word intuition. Just intuition. But that might be more precisely be called intelligence in its fullest form. Body and spirit and mind operating not as competing departments, but as one integrated system. This is a philosophical and spiritual framework I offer not as a laboratory science, but as a living lens, one that honors both what the instruments are finding and what the ancient knowledge has always carried, my friends. Within that framework, your intuition is not superstition, and it's not to be brushed off. Your capacity to sense what others miss, to read a room, to know what has not been said, to feel the truth before it can even be proven. This is not imagination, my friends. For people whose ancestors were enslaved and therefore had to develop every available nonverbal intelligence just to survive, that capacity is an inheritance. Your connection to the rhythms of the earth, to your ancestors, your spirit guides, to each other,